All right, got another game recording here with another ranked game that I played. We got a couple votes here. I don't play Yumi Zoom Zone. Targon Prime is the stimulus one, and then I vote for Hearth Home here. Sort of the more generic of the options. I'm not opposed to Targon Prime, but um, yeah, unless you're playing, it kind of favors reroll comps because you get to get low health early and then hit your comp. Get a nice spike there when you get to 40 health, but not super important. We got Hearth Home instead. So this is one you can make one of your items into a radiant item. So you can just make whatever comp you're playing. There's always a good fit for a radiant item on it. So, and here I get an early auction. Something. Oh, this could be an auction game. And then let's see what else we get here. Ooh, a bow. Okay, perfect. Auction and a bow. That's a good open. Auction wants at least two bows. You can make like two hurricanes or a giant slayer or whatever. I mean, even a rage blade. So really good item unit combo there. Nothing in my shop here that really pairs with the auction. Maybe the Cho'Gath, because Cho'Gath plus Renekton is a good early game tank line for a auction board. So I see the Cho'Gath here. I'm like, oh, I should have bought that Cho'Gath probably. I could have fed him a stack off these minions. When Cho'Gath uses a spell to kill a minion, he gets like 30 health or something. Could play Void, but no, just sell that and buy off the shop here. I did want to get that Bruiser, so good. Chain Vest, nothing too exciting yet. So now I think about the Bruiser thing. I'm like, okay, let's feed these Chos. Let's get some Cho stacks. And then I don't want to kill a unit here, but I want to hold my pairs. I'm like, what's the best pair I can put in without stealing kills from the Cho'Gath? So I'm like, how about an Aurelia one? I have another Aurelia in my shop, so that's a nice pair to hold. And she won't be stealing stacks from the Cho'Gaths. And yeah, I can sell this Viego here and buy up the Aurelia pair. So I got a pair of Aurelias and Samiras, good little challenger package there. And then I got some Deadeyes over here for the auction board. What do we got? Riftwalk? Not with these items. You really need gloves to play Riftwalk. You need like Jewel Gauntlet, Hand Adjusted, that kind of thing. And then I was thinking about rogues. Okay, I could play rogues. Yeah, I got really good Zed items here. So take a quick look at my other options. But yeah, let's go ahead and pick that up. Not the route I was planning on playing. I was planning on playing auction, but I didn't get any augments that would have helped auction, and I had really good Zed items here. Go ahead and make the Titan's Resolve and put a sword on them. Guarantee you're going to want to make a crit item, the Infinity Edge. So I can just put that on there, guaranteed. So normally when I see like streamers play this comp, I see them kind of lost streak early for econ, but I'm not super comfortable with it. I don't know the comp super well. I'm not super comfortable with lost streaking on it. So I kind of chicken out here and level up and put the Cho in, hoping that'll make me stronger. Looks like I could definitely win this fight. I'm not great pathing on my rogues here. I picked the wrong side. I was hoping they would jump on the units in the back right corner, but there was nobody in the back right corner. And my front line dies faster than I thought. My Cho'Gath with stacks didn't hold up. And yeah, lost to Orianna. Kind of sad, but oh well. I don't know if I could have made econ 3, 6, 7. Yeah, if I hadn't leveled, I could have been at 10 already for sure. So I should not have done that in retrospect. But again, I'm not super familiar. I'm not super comfortable playing Lost Drake here. Go ahead and get Ionia in. I guess it's better. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if Ionia really matters yet on this board. My units are all pretty weak. Probably the Cho'Gath is probably stronger. Could also play the Samira instead. Upgrade the Samira and play that. I think that might kill more units, to be honest, than this board. So maybe I should have played the Samira here. I'd love to make econ. I'd love to win here and make econ. You really want to get the econ stuff going for any type of a reroll comp. This guy's got a Zed on his board, but he's playing Noxus. You can see the augment he has there is the total domination. So he's going to be playing vertical Noxus. There's some overlap there, so we'll be contesting each other slightly, especially for the Katarinas, but that board doesn't usually play Zeds for very long. Like maybe at like level 8 or 9, but yeah. Luckily I win here, and it'll make 10. So again, really important to make econ breakpoints early. Really need to start stacking up the gold, although unfortunately I've gone loss win, so not a good streak there. My board's not really strong enough to win streak, so maybe, again, I probably should have been open for it, or just, been really weak so that I could guarantee my loss streak and also make my econ breakpoints earlier. But again, not familiar with the comp. I should say not like super comfortable with the comp. I mean, I know what the comp is. It's Zed, but I don't have enough experience to know what limits to push in the early game. So I'm here. I'm hoping I could win again, get 2 wins, and then I could sell the 4 gold that I have on my bench to make 20. What I should have done, again, in retrospect, I should have just sold the Jin and all the stuff on my bench and just guaranteed make 20. Like, I'm not winning. My board's too weak to win. And now if I lose, I can't make interest again. So I messed up again. I think, so I've made 2 mistakes already when I leveled early on level 1 and here again when I didn't make 20. I wasn't strong enough to win streak, but I got greedy, hoping I could kill some more units, although I killed like 1 unit, so whatever. At least I'm preserving HP. I'm at 90 HP, so I'm not like, super low or anything, but I've gone loss, win, loss. So bad streak, didn't make 20. Yeah, not off to a great start. Katarina with a glove. Now that would be a perfect item for me. Makes my Infinity Edge for my Zed, and then Katarina is the second carry you play in this comp, so just getting an early Katarina is great and perfect. Nobody goes for it. I think the kind of lucky the other Noxus player is win streaking, so he doesn't get to pick before me. Again, it's really important. Another benefit of loss streaking is you get early carousel pick, and you really need certain items for some of these comps. Like you really need the Infinity Edge on Zed. You can't really play it without it very effectively, unless you get the augment, the Jeweled Lotus augment. You really need the crit though. All right, so like a lot of stuff on my bench here, a lot of different options. Go ahead and make the Infinity Edge. I know I'm playing that. I want to get the Rogue and Katarina in. She can help me kill some units in the back line. The Rogue ability is when you go to 50% HP, your Rogue's target go 4 hexes away, prioritizing the enemy backline. Helps you get on there and kill their squishies. So even if it doesn't help me win the round, it'll just help me kill some of these squishy backline units. So I finally get to make 20. Again, I'm a couple rounds late here. I should pick up this Kled. You do want to play Noxus Slayer with Kled. So hopefully I see that. Yeah, it looks like I see it. I'm like, okay, play that. And then maybe if I want a 3rd Noxus unit, maybe I could play this Cassiopeia. This other player I'm playing against is basically open for it, but he's got 50 gold. He's doing it the right way. He's doing it correctly. I'm doing it wrong. I have 20 gold, and I've done win-loss, and he's like 50 gold, although he's quite a bit lower in HP. So we've sort of traded. I've traded econ for HP, and he's traded HP for econ. Not sure what he's playing yet, since he's basically just open for it. Again, if I was win streaking, it would probably be correct to level. I don't really have anything useful to put in. Actually, I should be playing Noxus on this board. I should play, I guess maybe not yet. Yeah, maybe not yet, but Nox is probably better than Ionia, to be honest. Yeah, I should probably buy the Swain and then swap the Aurelia in the Jin. I think even with no Conquered stacks, the Noxus is still going to be stronger than Ionia on this particular board. But I don't see it, so I just play my current board. Again, loss, win, and this looks like it's going to be a loss. So terrible streaking, but great items. Decent augment. It's a good augment. The Rogue one's getting that 20% Omnivamp is good. It's not like amazing, but it's not the best combat augment. The ones that give stats are better, like long distance pals, but I think Omnivamp is good. See, it said that's good. So here I start trying to get set up here. I just want to put all the units that I know I want on the board so that if there's any potential to make an econ breakpoint, I can sell my bench. So I probably should have put this Kled on my board over like the Jin, because maybe there'd be an econ breakpoint where that would matter, and I don't care about the Jin. I do care about the Kled. So another small mistake. Again, not super comfortable with the comp, but it is what it is. Tier can be good on Katarina. A lot of items that Katarina can use with tier, so that's good. Some gold, quickly sell off this stuff, try to make 40. And a bunch more gold. So yeah, making the econ breakpoint was definitely not a problem there. A little glitch bug on the Taric. Jin's not super important for this comp, but at least in this early game where my board is super weak like it is now, at least he can help me kill some units, hopefully. I finally get the Kled in. So what I really want here is to make Noxus. Unfortunately, I think I sold my Noxus unit, although, well, on level 6, I want to put Noxus in. On this board, I think Ionia is fine with the upgraded Jin. So here I'm just trying to make my rogues close enough to the corners so that they can do their 4 Therefore, hex dash to a corner and hopefully kill a carry. This board looks pretty weak that I'm playing against. It's the double trouble Talia board that I showed off in another video. But unfortunately, when he tries to do his rogue dash, my Zed gets bounced up and doesn't actually get to do his purpose in life, which is to get to the back line. So I lost this round, even though it looked like I could have won. So I kind of learned my lesson here. Don't put Zed right in front of the Talias. So I'll remember that going forward in the fight here. That was a bad decision. Normally, Jewel Lotus 3 is great on Zed, but at this point, I've already put the Infinity Edge on him, so it's like 75% crit. He would add 45 more, so he would get to 100. Kind of a waste. I mean, it would help Katarina. She doesn't have any items yet. I'm kind of debating whether I want this or not. There's also a Radiant Relic, which is an option. I double check his crit again. I'm like, no. Oh, Think Fast. So I would have, if Think Fast was one of my first 3 augments, I would have definitely gone for it. And it's a bug. You're not supposed to be able to see Think Fast when you reroll your augments. So I was kind of mad about that. I'm like, I would have taken Think Fast for sure. But unfortunately, the round was like 2/3 over by the time I even saw that it was an option. So like I said, I was kind of mad about that. That's a bug. That's not supposed to happen. Do a little scouting. Don't let my frustration get the better of me. Again, I just want econ here. I'm gonna have to roll a lot of gold to hit these Z3, Katarina 3. So just here's the Noxus player. He hasn't been really win streaking. He's actually lower HP than I am. Huh. That was total domination and 6 Noxus. He would have been stronger early game, but I guess not. Zed doing Zed things, even though Zed 1's killing some units. Kill some more units. So not a bad round. I would love to kill a couple more there, but I did not. So what I should be looking here is for a Noxus unit to put in. I don't think this. I'm holding Warwick just because he has some overlap. But here, there's a Swain in my shop. I should play that Swain. I didn't see it though. Challenger does nothing on this board. There's like, it's not important. Aurelia and Warwick getting a little bit of attack speed does nothing. And I don't have another Juggernaut yet. So while Warwick does have some overlap with what you would normally play on a Noxus board, like Samira and Darius, I'm not playing a normal Noxus board. I'm playing as Slayer Zed board. So again, I'm more familiar with the regular Noxus board. That's why I thought Warwick was a good placeholder unit. But he's not. In retrospect, he's not really a good placeholder for this particular comp. At least not with the early game board I have. It's possible you could have had like a Challenger opener, but I did not. Again, this board just destroys me. It's super strong, upgraded bruisers and mages here. This is the one I lost to on round 1 or 2-1, the very first round, and it destroys me completely here. He has a Radiant Shroud. Guess that's a good item. Probably not the best item, but he could re-roll it on his bench if he wanted to. Again, I missed I missed the Swain there. I really should have bought that Swain. At least for now, it would have been the strongest board. It's not important for like a long term here, but all right. So items, I want to make some more crit stuff for Katarina because I didn't end up taking the Jewel Lotus. So I want to get the glove on her. And what I have right now is the blue buff, so I can make a Hand of Justice. Pretty good item for Katarina. It's a lot better once you already have a crit item like a Jewel Gauntlet, but I don't have a rod, so I'll just make the Hand of Justice instead. I could consider greeding. There's 2 more rounds left. My board is so weak though. I really don't want to greed. In fact, it's so weak that I decided I really need to roll down. Like this board is just too weak. So I roll at least 50 and then I'm like, well, should I keep rolling? I'm like, yeah, this board is still too weak to kill units. I really need more. Really need Katarina and Zed upgraded. So there's a Katarina. That's good. So 2 Katarinas and 2 Zeds. So I'm pretty like anxious to hit one of those 2 things. Unfortunately, I get distracted here trying to fix my board. I should be rolling for Katarina and Zed, but I get distracted trying to figure out which unit to put on my board. This is definitely not the board I should have in. I should have Noxus. I should have Kled in here over basically anything. He would make both Noxus and another rank of Slayer. Actually, I don't even have Slayer in. Yeah. So again, not super comfortable with the comp, so really slow in my transitions here. And I didn't put the right units on the board. Unfortunately, I'm still killing units, but yeah, I mean, Katarina 1, Zed 1 is not enough to win any rounds, and I don't get to make econ either, so I had the wrong units on my board. If I just replaced the Jin, I could have sold the Jin and made econ, if nothing else. But here, I got some more time, so I finally have some more time to think about this and fix my board. So here's the correct level 6 board. This is sort of the canonical Zed level 6 board. And I get some upgrades. Perfect. I'd love to upgrade this Katarina too. I'd feel really comfortable if I hit the, oh, there we go. Katarina and set. All right. Perfect. This should be stable. I have the right board. Finally have my carries upgraded. And most of my other units as well. Everything except for Darius. Put my rogues where they can dash to the corners. That's my goal. And now I'm much stronger. I still have 30 gold and 5 Zeds. So even though I didn't econ well in the early game, I'm not poor. I have a good board. And yeah, enough to win this round. I finally get to go win. I break my 5 loss streak. So I'm like, okay, good. This is going a lot better. It was looking a little bleak there. Bad early game, but I managed to pull it together here at the very end of stage 3. So now the next goal is to hit Z3, and I do have an item, champion duplicator, so that's good. Really important to hit the Z3. Nothing else really matters other than hitting that Z3. And Katarina 3 would be nice too, but I'm still level 6, much higher chance of. And also, just frankly, just much more important to hit the Z. So if I had to prioritize using the duplicator, I would definitely use it on Z over Katarina. Z is the true carry. Katarina is the secondary carry. 2 swords, that's not great for Katarina items, unfortunately. In the normal Noxus comp, I'd be super happy about this. That's like an Infinity Edge and a Bloodthirster I can make on Darius, but this is more of a Rogue Slayer comp. I don't care about itemizing Darius. He's just a Juggernaut Noxus trait bot. So again, I'm not super comfortable with this comp. I don't actually know when I need to roll down. Like, how stable is this board in stage 4? Like, is it good enough to where I can econ? Or do I have to hit this Z3 and get stronger? Or am I just going to lose all the rounds? I don't really know. So I'm just going to play out a few rounds here. I also want to wait for the augment as well. It would be foolish to roll all my gold before the augment. If it could be another econ or some type of an augment that helps me roll. So here, cut my corner. So finally get to dash to the corner. The fight's not looking great, but then Zed does his thing, dashes to the corner. Akshan almost kills him, but Zed's got lots of Omnivamp. Boom, kills basically his whole team. And everyone who plays on ladder right now, I feel your frustration. Like, I've had the same thing happen to me whenever you're playing backline carry comps and you get Zed just dashes in the back and kills your entire team. It always feels bad. Definitely don't need Recombobulator. Cyber Leech is normally good, but I already have the Rogue Leech. And Indomitable Will is not actually one I've ever taken before, but in theory it sounds really good on this comp. Like, as soon as you get a kill, you get 10 seconds of CC immunity, so that should help out with the rogues, I think. So again, here I'm not super familiar with how stable my board is, so I decided to roll a bit. So I think I stop here on 30, yeah. Or do I keep going? I have no idea. These other units aren't as important. Like, if you were, just high rolling out of your mind, you could consider 3-starring Kled and Set as well. But I am not high rolling, so they're not going to be priorities. I keep rolling here. Again, I'm not sure how stable I am. I really want to hit this Z3. It's still 3 off. Well, 2 off with the duplicator. Now 1 off. So I'm just trying to make econ again. I don't care. I made this Kled, but I decided that I don't actually care about it. Here's the other Noxus board that I'm playing against. So he's got his 2-star Darius. Most of his Noxus units are 2-star. This is not a particularly great matchup. Again, there's no real backline for the rogues to assassinate in the Noxus comp. So it's pretty evenly matched, but he has that total domination augment, which is really strong. I think that ends up clinching it out here. Yeah, he gets the execute with total domination. So if he didn't have the total domination, I think I would have won that, but he did, so I got executed. Don't know why I buy this way here. Oh, I'm just buying random two drops so I can have more chances of hitting, or 2 costs, so I have more chances of hitting the actual Zed. Basically rolling to 0 here. I'm like, I just need 1 Zed. Okay, there it is. Boom. Yeah, I just had to duplicate it there. And then get back to 10 if I can. Yeah. All right, so finally got the most important part of this comp. I have the Z3. He's got Omnivamp. He's got crit. It's basically online here. And even have that Indomitable Will thing to give him some CC immunity once he gets his first kill. So I'm pretty happy here. Again, poor people playing backline carries, they're about to get murdered by rogues. Although his frontline dies actually before the rogues even do their proccing thing, so didn't end up mattering. The rogue part of it didn't end up mattering here, but yeah, Zed just completely murders. Basically his whole team. Yeah, that's Zed in a nutshell. That's why that's why I rolled to 0 there. It's a huge power spike to get the Z3. But now I need to rebuild my econ. Eventually I want to get Katarina 3. It's going to take a while and a lot of econ to get there. Yeah, I have 2 swords. So it's not like a great item I can put on Katarina. Could put Giant Slayer. Could put a Bloodthirster. There's another glove there. I'd love to get crit on my Katarina. Yeah, nice. So ideally you could get a jeweled gauntlet. But I don't have any spare rods lying around. You can make Infinity Edge on her. Again, she doesn't need the attack damage, but at least it makes her spell crit. So still, I could greed items. I mean, there's still 2 more player rounds here, but I probably should. Honestly, with the Z3 here, I think I'm stable enough. Okay, so here, this is the Hearth Home, so I get to make a Radiant item. Here, I tried to go look at stats to figure out which Radiant item is best on Zed, but I should have done this ahead of time. I should have known this Hearth Home round was coming. I should have already looked at the stats. I unfortunately ran out of time. I didn't actually get to look it up here, but so I kind of look at the stats here to figure out which one I think is better. I think just getting to 100% crit is really the most important thing on Zed, so that's what I ended up picking. I think both are good, but I feel like getting that 100% crit is the best thing for Zed. I did have time during this round to go look it up, and I saw that it is the better of the Radiant items, so I was happy that I made the right choice, but I should have already known ahead of time. Because I mean, we're playing Hearthstone. I should have had time to look that up already. And yeah, Zed is just murdering everything. 3-star Zed, and he has 100% crit now. He just basically kills anything he touches, especially squishy backliners. Again, the goal here is to econ up and get Cat 3. That's sort of the next stage in the plan. So I made a lot of mistakes this game. I guess I got kind of lucky. I mean, I rolled a 0. I saved my econ. I did okay on my econing, although I didn't do great on it. And I had the duplicator, so that kind of made it a little easier. So I don't know if you call it a high roll or not, but it is a well enough board for this stage of the game. Bunch of trait bots, 2 carries, and all my items are my carries. So not perfect items, but good enough. Here's the bouncy. You know, I didn't learn my lesson. Or no, this is where again I see it again. I'm like, oh, Indomitable Will say me, right? I just gotta get 1 kill and then I'll be CC immune. Boink, boink. Just gotta get 1 kill and I'll be CC immune. I didn't get a kill. Sad, and then the rogue bugged out because she got stunned during his rogue. It's supposed to shed CC. I don't know. Like, rogue's kind of buggy. It should have shed CC. He should have gone to the back line and murdered his back line, but it didn't end up happening. I'm like, ah, God, not again. I really need to not have Zed in front of Talia. Like, this time, surely I'll have learned my lesson, and that won't happen again. It happened to me twice that I fought that guy in a row, so I really need to move my Zed away from those stupid Talias. He needs to get 1 kill, and then he'll have 10 seconds of CC immunity. But he needs to get that 1 kill first. Surely this time I'll have learned my lesson. All right, so not a lot to think about here. I'm just kind of econing. Now I get all these rods. I would love to have made that jewel gauntlet on Katarina, but I was greedy. At least I can make an Ionic Spark to do some MR shred. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the Ionic Spark here on set. He's a pretty good holder of it. Just put him next to the Katarina so she can benefit from that. And then here I'm like, okay, these look like good Slayer items. Who should I put them on? I'm like, well, do I want to itemize Kled? I'm like, no, I do not want to itemize Kled. Gwen, that's what I want to itemize. Perfect. Okay, these definitely some combinations. I could do Gunblade and QSS. I could do Jewel Gauntlet and Bloodthirster, and that's what I ended up doing. I think that's probably the better choice. Again, not super familiar with this comp, but those look like pretty good items to me. Didn't have time to reposition, so I kind of just end up fighting whatever. Last time this Noxus board beat me, but aha! Now I have Z3, so the tables have turned. Z3 killed your entire team. I get my revenge. Yeah, Z3. Kind of a menace. Yeah, get a nice little upgrade here in the Darius. Again, he's not important. He's just a trade bot, but there's no reason not to upgrade him. All right, so here I'm positioning my rogues again for the corners, so I'm kind of building two squads, I would say. I have the magic damage squad with Katarina, Gwen, and the Ionic Spark. They all benefit from the MR shred, and then I have the physical damage squad on the other side. They don't need the Ionic Spark MR shred. So I have 2 assassination teams for each corner, and luckily for me, there are a lot of corner carries in this lobby. Nobody playing like Challenger or Ionia, which is a terrible matchup for Zed. But poor Akshan. You are not long for this world. Oh, Zed just killed your entire team. Real fun for him. Oh, that was a ghost round. He didn't feel the pain directly, but it still happened regardless. A lot of people playing corner carries. We got like multicasters. We got Akshan, at least 1 or 2 Lux Azir players. There's Darius in my shop, but again, I don't care about Darius. He's not, and he's also a player who's already, I think, Milk Turt, the person currently with the lowest HP, is the Noxus player. So he's holding my Katarinas. So I definitely do not want to roll as long as he's alive, and he's almost dead. So, and here I'm like, the bouncy team is one of my opponents. I do not want Zed in that corner again. I don't want anybody in that corner, but definitely do not want Zed over there for the 3rd time. And luckily I didn't have to fight them anyway. So this is just a poor Zed or poor Azir comp. He's about to get murdered by rogues. Although Katarina is still just 2-star, but she's still cleaning up back there. Zed's got a little distracted here. He's kind of off in no man's land, but he hasn't even procced his rogue thing yet. So procs his rogue thing and then just murders the Azir. The life of playing against rogues. I wasn't positioned super well for that guy, but I wasn't as worried about him. I was more worried about the Talia player. All right, what can we get here? Ooh, a Gwen with a blue buff. I'd love to get that and 2-star the Gwen. I don't know if blue buff is like her best item, but it's perfectly fine on her. So I'm like, get the Gwen, get the Gwen. Nope, didn't get the Gwen. I'm like, well, do I really want blue buff? I could get Giant Slayer, I could get Quicksilver, but yeah, I'm like, okay, let's just take the blue buff. I don't know if that's the best item for Gwen or not out of those options, but it's a perfectly fine option. So the Milk Turt, the Noxus player, is still alive, so definitely don't want to roll yet. If he just keeps living, I'm just going to level instead, because there's no point in trying to roll for Katarina's while he's alive. Again, just trying to position away so I don't get killed by the Talia bouncies. I want my other units to get the initial aggro. And yeah, I want my Zed to be as far away from the Talias as possible. Another Akshan player. I think this is the same player I think that I fought the Ghost of earlier. And unfortunately, he's in a terrible spot for him. And my Zed's about to go back there and murder his Akshan. Get my 10 seconds of Indomitable Will. Can't be CC'd. Come back in the back and kill the Akshan. That's how the comp's supposed to work. Looking around here. Oh, Noxus player lost. Oh, he died. Okay, so now I could consider rolling for Katarina. I could either level or I could roll for Katarina here. There's no real need to make a decision yet. There's nothing that I want to put in, and it's almost the end of the stage, so I decided to delay the decision. Doing some minor repositioning. Like I said, I kind of have my board set up the way I like it. Have the magic damage assassin squad on one side and the physical damage assassin squad on the other side. What we got here? Another Azir Lux player. Again, now normally Lux is really scary against melee carries. She can just kill them, but with the rogue thing, you can see there, she was targeting the rogue with a laser, but the rogue ability cleansed it, and he immediately jumped on top of her and killed her. So sadly for him, against a regular Noxus board, it could just killed my Darius or whatever there, but not against Zed. It did not work. So there's some benefits. The normal Noxus board is better against like challengers, I think, but I think this board is better against Azir Lux because of the cleanse and the immediate access to the backline. So again, here I'm just trying to decide what I want to level or do I want to gamble. I think I'm already strong enough that like gambling for Katarina 3, I'd rather have better odds to hit Gwen and then get another Slayer in. So I think I decide at this point that I'm going to level instead of playing the reroll lottery for Katarinas, even though there's nobody else playing Katarina, so I have pretty good odds to hit it, but I can still roll for Katarina on 8. The odds are basically the same. And I get 1 Katarina. So I was like, oh man, if I'd seen that before I started pumping levels, that might have made the decision to roll first, but I didn't. And now I have the chance to see like Aatrox and stuff, so. Like my carries are already itemized, so just another redemption here for set. Helps a little bit with the AoE damage reduction. Casante's an option. Ah, perfect. Perfect Slayer. Aatrox is both a Juggernaut, and he gives, you know, extra Omnivamp to whatever unit he's near when he dies. Actually, I'm not exactly sure who he targets, but he targets somebody. He's like a buff. He's a buff bot. Another Azir Lux player. Sadly for him, no matter how I position or lack of positioning on my right, I didn't really position that round. Doesn't really matter because Zed is just so good against this comp that even though I didn't position at all, basically, he still murders everything. 30 gold. Now I just gotta roll for Katarina and Gwen. Get them upgraded. Could in theory hit Set, but I don't really care about Set or Darius for that matter. I considered Heimerdinging here for a second, but I really don't have a spot. I'm gonna take out the worst Slayer, but the worst Slayer is like Aatrox. So normally, like Heimerdinger is a great way to cap out any board, but Zed doesn't really need the armor shred because he kind of bypasses the front line, goes straight to the back line. Aha! I finally got the rematch. Why I beat this guy this time? He's beat me every other time. But the Talias are not targeting my rogues. They are targeting other units. Well, Katarina died. Oh, Katarina actually got away. So both my rogues have killed units now, so they're both CC immune. So now this time finally. Yes, Talia tried to knock up Zed there, but he had the Indomitable Will from the augment. And I think he pings here. He's like, what? How come? Yeah, he pinged. He's like, how come I didn't get to knock him up? It's like, I had Indomitable Will. That augment actually did something. I see some more sets I could consider 3-starring set, but that's not really important. I just really need to 3-star the Katarina. Like if I already had 3-star Katarina, sure, then maybe I would roll for sets, but I'm not yet. I just need Katarinas. Just need Katarinas. Just need, perfect. Perfect amount of money. 1 gold left over, and I finally have my second carry online. Well, I guess I have 3 carries. Gwen's a carry too. And just doing some minor shuffling again. I haven't really changed my positioning much. It hasn't mattered much because the matchup's been so good for me. Except for the Talia matchup. That was the only one I was worried about, the Talia one, but they're dead now. And yeah, now I have both rogues. Now both rogues are fully upgraded and itemized. I mean, this is just a slaughter at this point. And Gwen's even got great items and have upgraded as well. I mean, it looked kind of close because it took a while to kill his Nasus, but it really wasn't close. All 3 of my itemized carries are left over here. Basically at 100 HP. And one of them even had Aatrox inside of them. I don't know who Aatrox was inside of, but could take the Noxus thing. There's not really any good holder for it. Could take the Juggernaut emblem, get 4 Juggernaut. But again, these other units, my Juggernauts are just like trade bots, so I'm just like, okay, I'll just take the Zephyr. In the normal Darius carry comp, I would love to get 4 Juggernaut because Darius is one of your Juggernauts and a carry, but none of my Juggernauts even have any items basically except for the set, so I don't really need 4 Juggernaut on this board. I'm putting the Aatrox near the Zed so that when Aatrox dies, it hopefully will buff Zed. And again, my matchups are so good against these Azir players that I'm not really like, I don't really need to do much. I do have the Zephyr, so I have to decide who I want to Zephyr. And I think after looking at this player, I think the most important thing for me to Zephyr is Ace and Nasus. The backline is like, no problem. I don't need to Zephyr the backline. What I do need to do is Zephyr this stupid Nasus. I don't want to get stuck on him for a million years. So Zephyr the Nasus. This is a ghost round. So even if it wasn't a good matchup for me, it still would be weaker. Zed hasn't even procced his rogue thing yet. Oh, he finally procced it there. Everyone's dead except for the poor Nasus. That's how I kind of wanted the fight to go. Even without the Zephyr, I don't think it would have mattered because rogue still bypassed the front line anyway. But so that was a ghost round. So that was the player I beat, is the one who's left. So he didn't actually see what I Zephyred because he wasn't watching me. He was watching the other player. So I'm like, I should move. What I want to do here is move the Zephyr out of where it's currently at. I mean, that is a unit I want to Zephyr is the Nasus, but I don't want him to know that. So I decided to move my guy to the corner just to fake him out, thinking like, hopefully that he'll come over and scout my board and be like, oh, he's trying to Zephyr my Lux or my Azir. Even though I don't actually care about his Lux or Azir. Just sort of trying to bait the Zephyr here. What I really care about is the Nasus. So I'm just going to put it back there and Zephyr the Nasus again. Again, the matchup is so good for me that it doesn't really matter, but it's still the right play, I think. Zephyr the Nasus. Lux murders one of my trade bots, don't really care. And Zed just walks over here. Murders the back line. Yeah, I mean, it's not even remotely close. Poor Nasus. Can't Zephyr, he's the last one alive. But without a team, Nasus can't do anything. GG. So that's the terror that I felt on the ladder many times, getting killed by the Zed players. I finally got to have my revenge there.